Hi everyone, it's me, Gail, and it's been a minute since I came and talked to you guys, and chatted with you, and let you know how things are going. And so yeah, I thought I would come and say hi and let you know things are going really pretty well. And I actually had another motive. I wanted to share with you guys something that I have found to be hugely beneficial to me. And I'm not sponsored. Nobody's promoting this other than me. And yeah, it's something that I think other people could probably benefit from, or at least possibly benefit from, and I think it's worth trying if you have similar issues that I have. A little bit of a backstory. I have what is called Trichotillomania, and it's been shortened to Trick quite often, and it's obsessive compulsive hair pulling. It's an OCD grooming tic, so to speak. Usually it shows itself when I'm under stress or anxious. It showed up when I was in kindergarten, maybe Head Start. All I know is it was after I started school, and I would get very stressed out. I mean, like as a child, I didn't know that's what it was. I didn't know it was stress. All I knew is that like my eyelashes started bothering me when I was a little kid, and I'd lay in bed and they would bother me, and I'd pull them out because that was the only way to relieve the sense of urgency or the feeling. It was the only way to relieve that sense of pressure, that impending whatever. I had to pull them out to make that feeling go away, to make them stop bothering me. And I remember being a little tiny girl when my grandmother and my mom first noticed that I didn't have any eyelashes. And of course, this was 50 years ago, and nobody even knew of this condition, and they'd probably never ran across anybody else who had this. And they basically, I remember them freaking out and saying, "Oh my gosh, why are you doing that? Don't do that." Which only added to my sense of like, I didn't know that there was anything wrong with what I was doing until they freaked out and told me don't do it again. And then there was the guilt or the shame when I couldn't not do it. And I, was always worried about somebody noticing that I didn't have eyelashes. And I went through most of my school life with that as a situation where it made me very self-conscious to look people in the eye, because I thought if we're making eye contact, they can tell I don't have eyelashes. And then when I got into high school and started wearing makeup, I learned how to kind of mask the fact that I didn't have eyelashes and kind of hide it, so that like at least at first glance, if you weren't looking, you wouldn't see, you couldn't tell, because my makeup was done such that you didn't at first glance tell that I didn't have eyelashes. So that's been something that I always have struggled with. And when I didn't even know it had a name, honestly. I didn't know there was a name for it. I thought I was the only person in the world who had this or did this. And so that made me feel even more like a freak, and self-conscious and insecure and anxious and all the bad yucky feelings. And so I constantly struggled with trying to let them grow in. And I also had like this obsessive compulsive that they had to grow in evenly, and both eyes had to look the same, and if they weren't growing in evenly, then I'd pluck out the whatever didn't make it even. It was a whole mess. Anyway, I finally discovered in my 20s that there was actually a name for it, and other people had it, and some people pulled hair, some people pulled beards, some people pulled eyebrows, some people whatever, everybody had their thing. And then when I was going through my divorce in like I'd say 94, 95, I had seen a TV program about I think it was 2020 or something, did an episode on St. John's wort, and that they use it in the UK as like a holistic Prozac. At that time, I was a single parent, raising 2 kids, working full time, you know, in complete survival mode all the time, like anxious survival mode. And so I started taking St. John's wort, and it was after I had taken it for about 6 months, I suddenly realized I had eyelashes. Like a full set of eyelashes. Not, you know, like on both sides. They had managed to grow in to the point where I wasn't having to hide them as with makeup. So I took St. John's wort for years. Well, I finally I'd like stopped taking it when I got older and life kind of got stressful. And then I started taking it again because life and stress and whatever. And then I realized that St. John's wort can affect blood pressure. And I have high blood pressure, and I'm on blood pressure medicine to try to manage that. So I stopped taking St. John's wort because it raises blood pressure. So, okay, that's fine. Fast forward to life in general. I mean, it's stressful for everybody. You've got work, you got bills, you've got health, you've got all the stuff that, you know, family members, everybody, everything that you worry about. So I had realized that I was having a really difficult time. Like I have my eyelashes, as you can see. I have my eyelashes, but I was having a really hard time, like at night. Again, it seems to be worse at night when I'm like alone and in my head and stressed out and whatever. I was like balding my eyebrows. Now my eyebrows have developed these weird, what I call granny or grandpa eyebrows that grow in, and they're stiff and they're rigid and they're, you know, like gray hairs that they come straight out. They hurt when they're coming through, and I would be trying to get rid of them in my OCD and end up like getting everything around it before I would actually get the one that was hurting me. So again, back to using makeup to hide the fact that my eyebrows were very like spotty, patchy, bald spots, you know. So I finally got to the point where I'm like, what am I gonna do? You know what? I can't do this. I mean, because logically, I'm just gonna start sprouting more gray eyebrows. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, so the gray hair is gonna come somewhere, right? It's just gonna happen. So I started researching, and at first I started looking at, like, I just Googled like treatments for trichotillomania, and then it pulled up antidepressants of different and anti-anxiety meds and all this prescription stuff. And I'm kind of like not a fan of prescription stuff because generally the side effects of so many of the prescriptions cause a whole nother issue. And then you're like, so I beat down this problem and I just created 3 others. So, so I just, you know, and I just didn't, I mean, like, I don't feel depressed most of the time. I have moments of anxiety and, you know, and low mood, and that's, I mean, everybody does, I think. But anyway, so I was doing research for medications or like holistic supplements. And I came across a supplement called NAC, and it's like an abbreviation. Let me grab it. I brought my bottle. It's an abbreviation for, and I can't even say it honestly. It's N-acetylcysteine. Maybe I can say it. I don't know. Anyway, and like I said, I'm not sponsored. I buy this from Swanson Vitamins. I'm a fan of Swanson Vitamins, and I'm also a fan of Now Vitamins or Now Food Vitamins. So, let's see if it will. There you go. So I started taking this. It's not very good. Anyway. Come on. Anyway, I started taking this a little over a month ago, and after I'd done a lot of research on people having really good results with trichotillomania, taking this and taking anywhere from 1,200 to 2,400 milligrams a day. So knowing that I wanted to kick this in the butt, I take 2 600 tablets in the morning and 2 600 tablets at night. Now I did up it, and I'm taking 3 at night, because at night's when I tend to have more struggles, like with the stress or whatever. But I've been taking it for about a month, and about, I would say maybe 3 weeks in, I started noticing a difference. And I was able to leave my eyebrows alone. Because every night I come home, take my makeup off, do my skincare treatment, all the things. And I had started trying to treat my eyebrows with rosemary oil, mixing it with jojoba, and put that on, and that's supposed to encourage hair growth or whatnot. And I'd been doing that, but I've noticed that it was not such a big deal because what I would do when I'm stressed or whatever, I'm in my head and I just start touching, right? You're looking for that one weird one that feels weird or sticks out or is coarser than the other ones or whatever. And there was less of a pull to do that, pardon the pun. But there was, you know, the urgency, that feeling that I've lived with my whole life was dimmed. And the only time it ever had been dimmed before was with St. John's wort. And then I started noticing other areas of my life that it was helping me. I didn't realize how many, because if you do the research, and I'll put links in down below for you to do your own research and read the medical articles about it. It is also helpful with some people with OCDs, just other OCDs, anything from anxiety, depression. It's been known to help with those. It also helps with like gambling, cocaine addictions, marijuana addictions. It's been studied on. There's several different, and certain OCDs some are different than others. Some are like triggered by different brain chemistry, and some aren't. So it doesn't help the ones that are triggered a different way, I guess. I mean, you'll have to do the research to read for yourself, but that's the best way I can in layman's terms. Doesn't help everybody with OCDs, but what I noticed was all of a sudden I realized I had OCDs I didn't know I had. Like, I always thought I just didn't have any willpower when it came to food. Like, if somebody brought something that I really liked or I really wanted, I couldn't leave it alone. Like, I would go, like, I just literally couldn't, like, I would eat it, and then I'd walk away, and I'd come back, and I'd eat it some more, and I'd walk away, and I'd come back, and I'd eat it some more, and I would eat it when I was still, like, sick to my stomach because I wanted it, and I couldn't get it out of my head that I wanted it. And OCDs run in my family pretty strong, like the obsessive compulsive thought patterns where you ruminate. So you ruminate on some negative aspect of either your life or a relationship or a situation or, you know, whatever, and you get like in a broken record. So if you are someone who suffers from like the ruminations, and that can happen a lot of times, like when you're dealing with anxiety, depression, grief can cause a lot of ruminations. All of a sudden my brain, I don't even know how to explain it other than like I can walk away from food now. It's not to say that I'm not going to have something that I like, you know, but if somebody brings donuts, it's way better for me to say I can eat 1 or 2 instead of 6 or 10. And I'm not exaggerating at all. Like through the course of a day, I could easily eat 10 donuts, and if they were there and I wanted them. And so like this post is like me being dead honest, completely vulnerable, telling you just exactly like the stuff that my brain, I just thought I didn't have any willpower. I didn't realize that I was like obsessive compulsive about food, or obsessive compulsive. Like I did kind of think, you know, you're on this kick, like you keep thinking this thing and it's a broken record in your head. And now, like, I can recognize if I'm like starting to get into an obsessive compulsive thought pattern and cut it off and think about something else. Change my thinking. And I always tried to do that before, but it would, you know, once you're caught in that, you're tied up in it. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. So I want to tell everybody, like I've been telling everybody. I told my best friend, I told Kelly, my sister, and I told my daughter. I even bought my daughter a bottle of it, not for her so much for OCDs, but it's supposed to help with like neural pathways, and it's supposed to help with, I mean, it's just got, they use it in hospitals all the time for Tylenol poisoning. And they've actually done studies where they've used it like for soldiers in war zones where they have head traumas. And if they use this NAC within the first 24 hours, they have less brain damage and come out of it better if this NAC is used. There's so many studies that this stuff, it's a semi-amino acid, so it's something that your body makes from protein naturally, but a lot of people nowadays don't eat enough protein. We don't get really, I mean, we don't eat like healthy, serious proteins. And I usually tend to be a little light on protein anyway. I go through phases where I really like it, but other times I just don't eat as much protein as I probably should. So anyway, I just wanted to share this because it's been such a game changer to me. Like, I never knew my brain could, it's the only way I can explain it, is like my brain feels like what I think would be normal. And I love it. I'm happier, I feel less stressful, I deal with less like depressive moments. And trust me, my hormones are going crazy because I'm like premenopausal, and that's a whole nother story. But so yeah, my hormones are still doing their thing, driving me crazy. And if you're a gal who's ever dealt with any crazy hormones, what they do to you, this has made it a little bit more manageable, especially during that time of the month when I'm like nuts. I don't even know. I mean, that's my words, of course. I try to maintain, but it's like all the stuff that I never told people or never said, that I was struggling because I just figured that was the way it was. I had no willpower. That's what I said. I have no willpower. I can't just eat a little of something. If I start eating it, I'll eat it. Now it's like, have a couple of bites of something. Oh, that tasted good. And then I'm done. I'm good. I move on to doing something else. So the weight's been kind of slowly coming off without being keto. Sorry, I'm not being keto. But I don't know. I just feel so much better. And I'm saying, if you struggle with any of this kind of stuff, it was $20 on Swanson Foods. A little over, like $20.60 for a big bottle. It's like 2.5 months. Yeah, 250 veggie tab capsules. And that's if you take 5 a day. It's like 2 months worth. So I'd say buy a bottle and give it a try for a month. It's not going to hurt you. There's no bad side effects. I will say, take it after you eat something, because it can cause, they do say for some people it can cause like mild nausea. Some people maybe a little diarrhea. I didn't notice. I do notice if I take it on an empty stomach, it can make me a little bleh. But so now I eat my breakfast and then I take it. But yeah, if you're struggling with any of these kind of things and you're tired of fighting your brain all the time, trust me, give it a try. It's not going to hurt anything to try it. There's no adverse, and in all the stuff that I've read, there's no any serious adverse effects of trying it. So anyway, this is a pretty long video. I'm going to stop now. 20 minutes. I'm sorry for all the, commercials they put in, but yeah, give it a whirl, try it, let me know what you think. If you've also struggled with the same kind of things as me, please leave a comment below and let me know. It helps to not feel so completely alone. At least I think it does. And yeah, thanks for watching, and if you try it, let me know what you think. Give it a month and let me know if it helped at all. So thanks for watching, and if you think this will help anybody else, feel free to share the video. Thanks. And Have a great day.